Hi, my name is Siri Merav and I am a writer and an artist, and almost all of the time I am drawing art for my original stories or just landscapes and studies for the sake of it, and not much anything else. The only reason for this? I suck at drawing fan arts. It always has been like this. I guess looking back, I was never much of a fandom person in my childhood, or much of a fan really. I had a lot of anime, cartoons and books that I truly enjoyed, things that I rewatched or reread a lot of times, but it never actually manifested in anything. Well, other than creating my whole fantasy world inspired by Barbie Fairytopia movies, and this world developed into my own independent creation almost immediately. It is interesting because I clearly remember that I liked and sincerely enjoyed a lot of things. Some stories impacted me in really important ways, but it somehow turned out that the most impactful things I just dragged into my own ideas and stories, and some things I liked but not to the point of drawing the characters or writing something based on them. I have this really clear memory of my brother drawing screenshot from Shaman King that I also really enjoyed, and thinking, why does he need to redraw something that we can just see on TV? Like, I didn't understand the appeal of drawing characters that already exist from a show that already exists when I can draw my own thing. My next encounter with real fans of something was when I met my friends at school who had periods of liking pretty obscure anime. They seemed much more engaged in their small fandoms than I was in mine, but I felt that it was because they had 24 episodes and had nothing to do, and I was rewatching Naruto for the third time, so I felt pretty occupied by just passively enjoying the show. I love Naruto to this day. This series influenced me, my writing, my art in many ways. It brings me nostalgia and so many emotions that I continue to go back to read fanfiction, to listen to soundtrack. And after 15 years, all of the fan content that I created is like 3 character sketches that I didn't show anybody, and a small fanfiction written as a bet with my friend more than 5 years ago. It is actually the only fanfic that I ever wrote. This single example is actually a good way to illustrate all of my fandom participation from my early teens to now. I was around 12 when I started to lurk in fandom spaces on the internet. I read a lot of fanfiction, watched YouTube videos and edits, read discussions on social media, got into new anime and games. This was also the time when I really started to draw and tried to do some fan arts. Tried is a key word. I had, I think, at most a dozen attempts, and every time it was an imitation of what I thought I should do. Well, at least a few of them were good. I actually forgot that they existed, but I found a folder with my old drawings not so long ago and was pleasantly surprised by some of them. But I think that the fact that I forgot about their existence is good enough of an indication of what my mindset regarding all of this was. And when I found these old artworks, they evoked a really strange feeling in me. Like I knew that I drew them. It was my hand that connected the lines and put color on paper, but deep inside I felt like I could not claim them. That I cannot say, this is mine. Why is it so important to me? I don't know. So I never got into drawing fan arts for years. As the time went, I developed a lot of my personal original ideas, so in my mind I always had a lot of plans. If I have so many things I want to draw for myself, why should I spend time on something that isn't completely mine? And the number of my characters and my stories just continued to grow. I felt like I was betraying myself by drawing something else. Every time I gave a chance to a possibility of a fan art, I delayed something that I desperately wanted to do. It just didn't make sense to me. I had my first attempt at posting art on social media in my late teens, where I drew a lot of requests and traits. I have full sketchbook of drawings of other people's characters. In the end, it just felt strange. I did not enjoy it. The same went for challenges, drawing in your style, Inktober's and other things I tried throughout years of drawing. I decided that I didn't want to continue like that, and I stopped. No social media meant that I didn't have to force myself to draw fanarts for engagement or to prove something to others. It was a few years when I drew almost exclusively original art. And it was also the time when I tried to understand what was my problem with all of this. So I came to two main conclusions. First of all, fan works in their traditional sense just don't happen in my thought process naturally. If I like something but it is not enough to be obsessed, I will not have any urge to create something based on it. And if I like something so much that I cannot let it go, then I become really inspired to do my own thing. I see that character that I like and my thought process is, I need to figure out what makes them so special, make my own take on this thing and write a story about them myself. Or almost as likely, I need to figure out what I like about it and put it in my already existing characters so I can love them even more. Fan work stage just gets skipped in my brain. The second thing comes from the fact that a lot of my experiences drawing fanarts sadly were uncomfortable. I don't like the feeling that I am never sure when I draw something based on other people's work. It is like this internal thought that if I'm not a creator of this character or world, then I don't make the rules. I don't have ultimate decision power. And because I am not a creator of this character or world, I also would never be able to fully understand these rules. I will never be able to understand all of the little things and nuances put in this creation, which makes me scared of just getting it wrong. Design elements, features, personality, or even vibes. And it is frustrating to me, because I understand that fan works are transformative in nature. People always put their own interpretation in their work, because we're subjective and we're unique in how we see things. And sometimes it is the point of a fan work to reinvent the idea, to build on it. People draw different versions of characters, alternate universes, inexistent scenes. But I hate that I feel like the changes I made for my fanarts are not always intentional. I changed something not because I wanted to reinvent the idea, but because I just got it wrong. Because I'll never be able to understand the internal rules that author knows about their own creation. In the end, when I try to draw something like the original, but not completely like the original, it just fries my brain and I want to escape back to drawing my own characters where everything I do is objectively right. But as you can see in the speed paint, I am drawing fanarts right at this moment. So I wanted to tell you why. In 2025, I participated in the art fight for the first time. My friend introduced me to this idea in 2024, but at the time I thought, well, cool concept, but not for me. I could imagine that it ended the same way as all of my other art challenges or events ended, unfinished or deeply unsatisfying. But in 2025, I decided to participate simply because of the vibes of a big art event that I hadn't experienced in a long time. So I gave it a try without many expectations from myself. Did I love it? Well, it's complicated. It was a mix of very conflicting feelings that I needed to decipher to make my own conclusions. So what did I get from it? It is still hard for me to draw other people's characters. But it was a beneficial experience that I generally enjoyed, but only if I do it in moderation. It was not a black and white answer, but it was more understanding of how I feel on this topic that I ever had. Because I think that there is a lot of value in drawing fan arts, in terms of developing art skills, but not only. And if we do talk first about developing art skills, then I should mention that fan arts are such a great way to get out of comfort zone and draw things that you don't usually draw. And it can be anything. Different features, body types, clothes, weapons, subject matter. I can give you a perfect example with these fanarts for Deltarune. If you have seen my work before, you'd probably be able to easily guess that Deltarune characters are far from the most things I usually draw. So it was one of the few attempts in my entire life to draw non-human characters. and I struggled with it a lot. I started with a few sketches trying to figure out character designs, especially Susie's, but I felt so lost I was ready to give up. There were some attempts that I completely hated, some attempts that I hated a little less, and I had to go with them if I wanted to finish at least something. The other thing that was actually a little bit surprising to me was the color palette, because it turns out that I don't use all colors equally. Drawing dark world forms made me feel like I am mixing some of the colors for the first time, and I thought that I already spent a lot of my lifetime just mixing watercolors. So drawing fanarts and other people's characters can definitely be very helpful for developing artistic skill and getting out of comfort zone. But the thing that I felt even more important to me was the aspect of community. I have been interacting with fandom spaces for more than 10 years, so I know how it is. I know how great is the feeling of loving something together, of obsessing over a story or a character, because even seeing other people's amazing fan works makes me really happy. We love the thing together and we're inspiring each other to create even more, to go far and beyond the original work that influenced us in some profound way. And you know that you are not alone in it, you are doing it together. You share these feelings inside you with hundreds or thousands of people, creative people like you, artists, writers, musicians, filmmakers, editors, cosplayers, and many others. When you draw something based on a thing you love, it helps you to return back to the world your feelings and your gratitude. And this fact alone makes me want to try again, to contribute a little bit, to express to the world that I am also a part of the community that love this thing, even if it's harder for me. And I also understand how great it feels to receive a drawing of your character from someone, that someone took time of their life to draw something specifically for you. This is why I felt so fulfilled after the art fight. Giving gifts feels great, it's not hard to understand why I didn't completely hate this experience. Will I be drawing a lot of fan arts now? Definitely not. I still have lots of plans for my original characters and still get generally exhausted after long periods of drawing for someone else. I accepted that it is not my strong suit and, well, sometimes I feel a little bit jealous that you guys who draw fan arts have much easier time connecting to each other. But it is what it is. What I understand for myself is that I still want to try to draw fan arts from time to time, without any expectations, external pressure, worrying about trends or challenges, but simply because I want to express my love for the show, game, book, music, or whatever else that inspired me, not because I need to, but simply because I want to. Thank you all so much for watching this video all the way through the end. If you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media accounts. It was Mirav and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!